Hi, Kerry here from My Cloud Bookkeeping. Today we're going to look at recurring transactions. Now, this is a huge time saver, one of my favorite features. It's a feature that's available in the Essentials and Plus plans. There's a link below that'll show you all the different features for all of the different plans. Do you have the same amount that's due for rent every month? Or do you have clients who pay you a regular amount, every week, every month? This is something you can set up in a recurring transaction, and then you won't have to enter it, remember to enter it. It's all automatically in your books. You can also use recurring transactions for more detailed breakdowns so that they're sitting there kind of like a template for you to use whenever you need them. So let's have a look and see how it works. Recurring transactions are accessed from the gear icon up on the top right. So here we have under Lists, Recurring Transactions. As you can see, there are a couple of here set up already. We have two that are scheduled and one that is unscheduled. The telephone bill and the monthly lease are set up as scheduled transactions, and the next date is October 5th, 2020. So let's take a look here and see what this monthly building lease recurring transaction looks like. We have the option here to use it, to duplicate it, or delete it. I'm just going to pop in and choose Edit so we can see what it looks like. Now we can see here that on the first of every month, the rent or lease for $900 is set up. It's scheduled to be recorded as a recurring bill. So that will record in as the expense and the amount that's payable to our vendor here, Whole Properties. This is going to be recorded every month automatically, and we just won't even have to think about it. So then what will happen is after this is recorded, we'll go to the bank feed, the $900 will come out of our checking account, it will match to this bill, and we've recorded the rent or the payment of the rent without even having to touch anything. It's fantastic time saver. Another very common use for recurring transactions is recording daily sales. So if you're the type of business that has sales coming in on a daily basis through your cash register, not necessarily through invoicing, then this can save you a lot of time. I'm going to select Use for this transaction, and I've set up a very, very simple one. So here we have the sales that we've collected, and then we want to record the amounts that we're depositing into our bank or our credit card clearing accounts. That could be any of your merchant accounts if you're using Stripe or PayPal or Moneris. Any of them would be what you'd put here. You may separate for Amex or Visa, whatever it is. So you will look at your sales and you'll see, oh gosh, today we had $2,500 of sales plus tax, which brought us to, I better delete these two numbers just so I can get a correct number here. So 2,700, and of those, 1,700 is going into our bank. Let's go minus 1,700, and the remaining 1,000 was credit card sales. You'd have your proper cash register receipts or till slip, whatever you have. The idea is that this one comes out to zero. So we've recorded our sales, and then these two amounts here will match up on the bank feed. I may do another video in the future to go into this in a lot more detail, how you set it up. These have to be set up as products or services, but it gives you a really good idea of another use for the recurring transactions. I'm just going to save and close this. One I use most often is if I am charging somebody on a monthly basis for their subscription, for example. So we're in the sample company, which is the Craig's Landscaping. So I'm going to create a sales receipt here that's going to post every week for their weekly gardening service. Let's call it Amy's Weekly Gardening, because I know that's one of our customers in the sample company. So we'll go for Amy's Bird Sanctuary here. And I'm going to say that on the first of, can I change this to be interval? Yes, weekly. Here we go. Every week say we want to bill her on Friday. Every week on Friday, and we want the start date to be in the future. If you don't put the start date in the future, it won't start doing it. I've been caught on this a couple of times. And let's just say that we have her set up with her MasterCard automatically to go through with QuickBooks payments, and then that deposits will say directly into our checking account when it settles. So we'll set up here our weekly garden service for, I'll say $50, and we will save the template. I think we can just go ahead to that. Yes. So now we have another one here, Amy's Weekly Gardening. It's scheduled sales receipt every week starting on November 6th. And that will just record automatically without you having to do anything. And if you've entered in her credit card, that's just going to be charged. You won't have to do a thing. The money will land up in your bank. Recurring transactions are just a wonderful way to automate things and save you a lot of time. Just about any transaction can be created into a recurring transaction. So for example, if we pop here to invoice, we can see the option to make it recurring. The bill we saw earlier with the rent, but let's have a look now at an expense. We can create an expense and make it recurring also. So if you do have something that's happening on a regular basis, this is a fantastic tool. Be careful if you're using rules, for example. You don't want to have a rule coming in from your bank feed and want it to match with a recurring. That won't work. Or if you're using an expense capture tool like Receipt Bank or HubDoc, that also may not work so well. But play around with recurring transactions, unless you've got clients' credit card numbers in there, and see how they work best for you. You might be wondering why you would use recurring transactions when bank feed rules could also carry out some of this task. And where a recurring transaction works better than a bank feed item or a rule is if you want to split it out into a whole pile of different lines, because you can do that in advance with more accuracy and then match it on the bank feed. And another time, I think I mentioned earlier, is if you're using the payments feature to record that payment, the recurring transaction will take care of that automatically. And once again, you'll be matching on the bank feed. So you still get the benefit of the bank feed, but you've got using the recurring transactions instead of the rules. So check out the blog post that I've got that works through all the different features that are available for each plan, and be sure to subscribe so next time I've got a video, you'll know about it. Okay, cheers.